At what point did you know that you were like exceptional? Because there were, there are people who are pretty good in juniors, and then you think that they have potential to be a pro or whatever, or be a good player when they, develop and stuff. But there's not many people who are like under 15s beating guys who are, top 200 in the world. So like, at what point did you know you were exceptional? Did that Darian King match change or enlighten you at all, or that week in Granby, or did you already have that feeling before?
Well, I had the feeling that I could play good tennis, but like to be honest, the mentality growing up was like you're never really good enough. Like like I wasn't like people, or even you were saying now like exceptional or like I remember like getting attention from like journalists and media and also like respected people in tennis. Tweeting at the time when I was 14, 15, like, oh, watch out for this, for that. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, this can all stop tomorrow. Really. Like, I was never, looking back almost sometimes, like my dad wanted me to be very humble. I was maybe almost sometimes a bit too humble in a way. Like, in a way that like, on a one-on-one sport, like when you go on the court, you need to feel like you're the best player. And you need to feel that you're not going to lose today, basically. But it took me a while to have that attitude. It was always like, everybody's so good. I can always have like a bad day. I need to, respect my opponent. I need to. And so that's why I say, it took me a bit of time to find that balance of humility and also a bit of arrogance, that you need to be good, in such a high level sport. So I never thought I was exceptional. Like at 15, 16, I was just trying to improve. Honestly, I was just trying to play, and then results came. Sometimes other guys were having results too. Like Chapo was, ahead of me at times, and it was good growing up. Like all this generation, I feel like 2000, 99, 98, like it was really competitive. Like if you look at our draws, like in juniors, I mean, a lot of guys made it big time.
And do you think that this, I guess, mentality you had removed the room for like expectations? Because, like you said, journalists tweeting and writing stories and stuff saying, "Look out for this player," blah blah blah. But like for you, if you have that mentality, you think that takes away the expectation, and that way you don't have to think about that stuff. And how do you
No,
manage
it
that
didn't. It
today?
didn't. Yeah, it didn't remove it. It didn't remove it. I still felt it, um, and it came really young. And no, it was a process to learn how to, to not really not look at it because you're always going to hear it or see it. Um, and I don't think it's the right way to how to say, like, for like an education of like a young kid. It's not the right way to just be like, oh, act like it's not there, because you're going to see
Yeah,
it at some point. It's better to just prepare yourself to it. So for
right.
me, it was like, okay, to learn how to like thank the people that are saying good things, but then like learn how to, it's like the most important is to go back to work and whatever is going to happen the next day. But yeah, sometimes the way I felt it, it was like I would get frustrated with certain results that normally I should never get frustrated, like because not because I did something exceptional like a year before. That like, let's say that the next year when I came to Granby, I lost to Sekou Bangura first round, you know. But like, probably it's okay to lose that match. Like, it's not like a bad loss, but it felt like, oh, well, if I was 14 and made quarterfinals, then next year, in my mind, I was like, well, I should do better and better and better and better always. But the road is not always like that. Like, only for maybe not even any guy like it has a straight road to the top. Like, maybe one or two. So that's kind of like how I felt it for me. The expectations, how it didn't. I guess how it affected me sometimes.
And these days, so a year like this year,
Yes.
it almost seemed like up until the semifinal run at US Open that you were having a bad year, quotes, like quote
Hmm.
unquote. But if you look at it, you final the 500 in Dubai, you win two 250s, like
Yeah.
by most people's standards, like that's probably like a career year. It's like, wow, the guy's like doing
Yeah.
unreal, but like based on like media coverage, whatever, it feels like what's going on with Felix. what do you pay attention to? Like, how are you judging yourself, and what are the things that are important to you? Because I remember like there was a stretch there, like Indian Wells, Miami, and then kind of through the clay, the grass, it wasn't really clicking. Like, what are you focusing on to sort of, I guess, get back to that line that your dad talked about when you were coming up?
Yeah. Well, no, it was already, even before the U.S. Open, it was already a better year than the last few ones. Like, let's say I had my best year in 2022. And before that, it was always like the year was always better than the previous one. So, I was always improving year after year from the first year I made, or even my first ATP points, really, like ups and downs throughout the year, but like always better and better. But I had to learn, that, you get to a higher ranking and you want it to keep going. And I didn't really have injuries until then. But then, I had to learn, like everyone, that, it's different to always go up. And then the year that your ranking goes down, and then to come back up, it's more challenging in many ways. So I had to learn that over the last few years. But this year, I'm the best shape of my life, I have to say. At least, since the start of the year. So it already feels better than other years where I was really struggling. And so I came out, to Australia playing great right away, moving well, feeling good, beating Fritz in United Cup, winning title. Tough loss in 5 sets, second round, but it's like with the level today, this will happen, once in a while. It's just like unseeded players being, really tough in some draws. But the year was good, and then I had a bit of a slump, like on clay. But it was just more focusing on like, okay, tactical things, transitioning to the clay and how to, play the right way for me. And I had just a few tight losses that sometimes they go your way and then you go further in the draw, but those didn't go my way. But I didn't panic too much. Honestly, I was really just, I was annoyed. Obviously, I was pissed at those results, like losing first round of French. It was a really tough moment. But talking with the team, people that I've had a long time in my life, and just remembering what helps me was the right way to approach my game, what to train, and then from the grass, I felt like I was playing really good level again. So let's say the semifinal in New York was just kind of like a culmination of all this work throughout the year. Like I felt like I had that in me for sure.
How good are you at dealing with the time between tournaments? So like now, the 2-week Masters or 12-day Masters or whatever, let's say you lose early in Miami and you have to wait 8-9 days, whatever it is, to play the next match in wherever the next tournament is. How much is that affecting your ability to be regular Felix off the court? Like, how tied are you to your results, like as a person off the court?
Depends on times, because when you have, like, let's say a lot of wins behind you, you feel like, okay, one loss and then you can deal with it better. But when they start adding up, you start. I mean, this is my whole life. Like, this is what I do, and so obviously it starts affecting your mind outside of the court as well. Luckily, I have a really good life outside of tennis, like very balanced in a way that like not all the conversations around me in my personal life revolve around tennis. So like I always tell my parents, even when I'm going through a tougher time on the court, like, don't worry, like my life is good. Now married, been together for 6 years, and then
man, 25, bro. Jeez, bro.
That's crazy. And then my friends, everybody. So, like, I always tell them, like, my life is good. Like, if let's say anything you want for your son is like that he's happy, like I'm happy. It's just that I need to figure out, like, what's happening on the court. But that's another topic that I need to figure out, and I take a lot of accountability. I've never liked to put the responsibility on others or Like, because as a tennis player, like, yeah, you have your coach, you have people around you, physio, fitness coach, but ultimately you hire these people. And so if I'm not happy with somebody, I have the power to change them. So it's not like you're in a basketball, or football like club, and then like you don't really have the power over that. You can change your staff, you can change your racket, you can do whatever you need to do. So change your string. So I always take accountability. Like, I need to figure it out, and I have the solutions like deep within myself. But now with the 2 weeks events, yeah, it was tough to deal with at the beginning. Obviously, we're used to Indian Wells, Miami, and now that they're like the whole year, it was a bit strange at first, especially if you lost early. You're like, what do? I go play a challenger. I just rest. I practice. How much do I practice? But now, like, it's been maybe 2 years now that they've been doing it more, and yeah, and I'm more used to it. And I try to not always be worried also too much. I gotten better with not worrying about like the results and practices. I try to really be focused on what I'm trying to put in place for this tournament and the rest of the season, and kind of the improvement of my game. And then if I do that, I'm happy with my day. And I go back, and I think younger for sure, like the first years on tour, 2019, 2020, like it felt like if I'm not winning the practice set the day before the tournament, like I'm in trouble. It was like, I'm worrying so much. I'm like, yeah, this is not good. But now, like, doesn't matter as much anymore, to be honest.
Thanks for watching this clip. If you want to watch the full episode, the link is in the description down below.